Scott Aukerman. Scott David Aukerman, born July 2, 1970, is an American writer, actor, comedian, television personality, director, producer, and podcast host. Starting as a writer and performer in the later seasons of the sketch series Mr. Show, Aukerman is best known as the host of the weekly comedy podcast Comedy Bang! Bang!, as well as the IFC original television series of the same name. Aukerman is the co-creator of Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis and co-founder of the Earwolf podcast network. Early life. Aukerman was born in Savannah, Georgia to Bert and Linda Aukerman. He grew up in Orange County, California, attending Cypress High School and the Orange County School of the Arts, studying acting and musical theater and writing plays in his spare time. Aukerman was raised in a religiously observant household, attending a Baptist church 3 times a week until college. He hosted a public access television show called Century and Highlights, based on the school's mascot. In a 2015 interview, Aukerman said, "I'm still doing that same show, just with celebrities instead of my high school cafeteria." He started a short-lived band, the Naked Postmen, with Adrian Young, who went on to be the drummer for No Doubt. While attending Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, he and fellow student B.J. Porter began writing together when they were both scripting and performing in a radio show called Lutz Radio. Career. After a brief period studying at the Pacific Conservatory of the Performing Arts and touring the country as a musical theater actor, in 1995, at the request of his friends, Aukerman and Porter started performing at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles under the moniker The Fun Bunch, a name meant to parody improvisation groups at the time. Mr. Show co-creator Bob Odenkirk was in the audience for the second performance and soon tapped the duo to write for. This led to an Emmy nomination in 1999 for Aukerman and the rest of the staff. Aukerman appeared sporadically on the show, most notably as the model Theo Brixton in the Taint magazine sketch. After the show's cancellation, Aukerman and Porter segued into writing film and television scripts, most notably Run, Ronnie, Run, and the first draft of the film Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. In 2004, he and Porter received an additional dialogue credit on the animated feature film Shark Tale. They went on to write an unproduced script for the sequel, as well as an unproduced Shrek spin-off film based on the character Puss in Boots. In 2007, a feature film script he wrote with Porter and Odenkirk, titled Cannon Roads, Unkillable Servant of Justice, was purchased by MTV Films with the intent of starring Rainn Wilson, although it currently remains unproduced. Also in 2007, Aukerman released a self-described joke record, Scott Aukerman's Kukuru's Greatest Hits, which featured Aukerman and Sarah Silverman program writer John Schroeder shouting over current soft rock hits. This was put out in limited release on ASD Records. In 2009, Aukerman and Porter wrote a pilot script for NBC titled Privates. The network ultimately passed on the show. That year, Aukerman took on the role as head writer for the 2009 MTV Movie Awards and executive produced and co-wrote a pilot for Comedy Central, the new Andy Dick show. The network ultimately passed on ordering it to series. In 2010, Aukerman wrote a feature film script for friend Zach Galifianakis for Fox, and he and Patton Oswalt co-wrote a television pilot for Fox, which the network ultimately passed on. Later that year, Aukerman joined a writer's lab, writing film scripts for Imagine Entertainment. Comedy Death Ray / Comedy Bang! Bang! In 2002, Aukerman and Porter started the successful alternative comedy showcase Comedy Death Ray, which ran Tuesday night at the M Bar in Los Angeles. Porter had friends in common with M Bar owner Joe Reynolds and visited the bar shortly after its opening. Upon seeing how empty M Bar was, Porter convinced Reynolds to let him start a comedy show to help business. The show eventually moved to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in 2005 to gain more creative freedom. A comedy death ray CD taped partially in San Francisco at the SF Sketchfest and partially at their 4th anniversary all-night show in Lao was released on Comedy Central Records on September 11, 2007. The CD featured Aukerman, comedians David Cross, Patton Oswalt, Paul F. Tompkins, and other CDR regulars. In 2007, Aukerman and Porter produced several internet shorts with comedy death ray comedians for the internet site Super Deluxe. These included 3 episodes of the Brody Stevens Interview Challenge and 2 episodes of Lake Charles Lake, in which he also co-starred. They made more shorts in 2008, but the site was shut down and folded into Adult Swim before they could air. In 2007, Aukerman and B.J. Porter created and produced a sketch pilot titled The Right Now show based on their show for Fox. However, the network passed on ordering it to series in late 2007. Cast member Casey Wilson was immediately hired as a featured cast member of Saturday Night Live after the news. A short film made for the show Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis eventually moved to internet site Funny or Die, becoming one of its most successful series. Starting January 3, 2011, Aukerman became the host of a series of interview interstitials titled Comedy Death Ray, airing 3 nights a week on the IFC network, where he interviews stars and creators of shows that the network runs, including The Ben Stiller Show, The Larry Sanders Show, Mr. Show, Freaks and Geeks, Undeclared, and Arrested. In 2011, Aukerman and Porter parted ways, and the Comedy Death Ray live show was renamed Comedy Bang! The Comedy Bang! Live show ultimately ended in December 2012 after 10 years. Comedy Bang! The podcasts. Being a frequent guest on and admirer of the award-winning podcast Never Not Funny, with Jimmy Pardo led Aukerman to the decision that he should start his own comedy podcast. On May 1, 2009, Aukerman started to host Comedy Death Ray Radio, a comedy-themed broadcast based upon the live show, on Los Angeles radio station Indie 103.1. The show continued to air on Fridays at 12 noon Pacific, but moved to being distributed by the Earwolf podcasting network in 2010. The podcast of each show is available weekly on iTunes and the Earwolf website, and has been downloaded several million times. Aukerman hosts, with frequent guest collaborators Paul F. Tompkins, Lauren Lapkus, Neil Campbell, Mike Hanford, James Adomian, Nick Kroll, Andy Dolly, and the late Harris Whittles, among others, serving as guests and characters. Entertainment Weekly called the show often strange, consistently hilarious, always unpredictable, and the AV Club named it one of 2010's best podcasts. In May 2011, Aukerman renamed the show Comedy Bang! On December 4, 2013, the AV Club named Comedy Bang! The best podcast of 2013. In 2018, Time magazine named Comedy Bang! One of the 50 best podcasts to listen to right now. On June 8, 2012, IFC premiered the television series Comedy Bang! Hosted by Aukerman. On December 2, 2016, the series ended after 5 seasons and 110 episodes. Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis. One sketch from Aukerman and Porter's sketch show The Right Now show Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis was put up on internet site Funny or Die and received several hundreds of thousands of hits in just a few days. This was followed by Ferns interviews with talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, Mad Men star Jon Hamm, Natalie Portman, Bradley Cooper, Charlize Theron, Conan O'Brien, Ben Stiller, Steve Carell, Sean Penn, Bruce Willis, Jennifer Aniston, Will Ferrell, Oscar Buzz edition featuring Jennifer Lawrence, Christoph Waltz, Aukerman directed the Theron, O'Brien, Penn, Willis, Farrell, Oscar, Buzz, Bieber, Franco, and Happy Holidays edition episodes. In March 2014, an episode was released with President Barack Obama. It was designed to bring attention to the Affordable Care Act. Galifianakis engaged in his regular insult comedy style of interviewing, which the president reciprocated throughout the interview. Within 24 hours, the video of this interview had amassed upwards of 14 million views. Aukerman directed and produced this episode, which won the 2014 Emmy Award for Outstanding Short-Format Live-Action Entertainment Program. Each episode has been viewed millions of times, and the President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Justin Bieber, Brad Pitt, and Natalie Portman episodes have become some of Funny or Die's most popular videos ever. In 2015, Aukerman won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Short-Format Live-Action Entertainment Program again, this time for the Brad Pitt episode, Earwolf. In 2010, based upon the success of his podcast, Aukerman, along with Jeff Ulrich, started the Earwolf Network, eventually producing and releasing several podcasts. In 2011, they announced a partnership with Funny or Die. In 2014, they launched a sister network, Wolfpop, under the curation of comedian Paul Scheer. On March 7, 2016, the majority of Wolfpop's programs were folded over into Earwolf. Podcasts with Adam Scott. Artistry. Aukerman's work has been described as gloriously silly and masterful comedy and improvisation. Although Tom Lennon's first reaction to the initial episode of Comedy Bang Bang was "no one's going to listen to this," Aukerman has since been lauded as the ringleader of a podcast. His influence on contemporary comedy, by way of highlighting emerging talent, has earned him the title of the alternative Lorne Michaels. Personal life. Aukerman is married to his ex-girlfriend, actress, director, and showrunner Kulap Valesa. The couple had a dog named Rocky, who died in 2016. They now have two dogs named Georgia Michaela and Molly Ringwald. Aukerman is a stated longtime fan of comic books. 2. He previously collected DVDs and is an avid filmgoer and fan of cinema venues. 3. Work. Film, television, podcasts, Comedy Bang, Z-Bang, Bang, 2009 present, hosts, Analyze Fish 2011-2014, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, 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 co-hosts. You Talk in Otwo to Me. 2014-2018, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, 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 hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, 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 hosts, co-hosts, co-hosts. Are You Talking REM Read Me? 2018-2020, co-hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, 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 hosts, co-hosts, hosts, co-hosts, hosts. You Talk in Talking Heads 2, My Talking Head 2020, co-hosts, hosts, hosts, co-hosts, 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 hosts. Freedom 2018 present, co-hosts. We have to stop talking TMNT on CBB 2020. Co-hosts, hosts, 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 co-hosts, co-hosts, co-hosts. Scott hasn't seen 2021. Co-hosts, hosts, 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 hosts. Hosts. Internet. Lake Charles Lake 2007 on Super Deluxe, Super Deluxe. The Fun Bunch 2008 on Super Deluxe, Super Deluxe. The Four Flop Tops 2009, Funny or Die Video, Video. Lost with Paul Scheer 2009, Internet ARG for the TV show Lost. Sizzle Alert, Lost with Sarah Silverman 2010, Funny or Die Video, Video. Discography. Albums. Studio 2007, Scott Aukerman's Cuckoo's Greatest Hits. 2008, Never Not Christmas, a Holiday EP with Jimmy Pardo compilation 2007, Comedy Death Ray, Death Ray, Death Ray, Death Ray. 2009, Comedy by the Numbers, by the Numbers. 2009, Comedy Death Ray Xmas CD. 2009, also executive producers. Producers. Cutive producers. Producers. 2010 Comedy Death Ray Xmas CD. 2010 also executive producer other. 2006 Brian Poston live in Nerd Rage performs sketch with Brian Poston and Bob Odenkirk. 2007 Eben Schletter's Witching Hour sings the song I've Created a Monster, a Monster. 2008 R.O. Magic. The best of R.O. Mance's S.E. Duction background vocals. That's My Girl by the Vandals appears on Look What I Almost Stepped In. Dirty White Boy by the Vandals. Unreleased, unreleased. Hey-Ho by the Vandals appears on Mosh Pit on Disney Japanese compilation album. Comic books. Writer. Deadpool 2012 #45 5-page backup story. Secret Wars Journal #3 10-page story. Spider-Man /Deadpool #6. X-Men Black Mojo #1. Awards and nominations.